Uh, Now, if as a property developer you're still using 2020 strategies in 2026, then you're actually gambling with your net worth, and nobody likes to do that. So why are we doing that? So let me lay it out for you. So for years we've relied on capital appreciation to do the heavy lifting when we've bought properties. So you'd sit on an house and appreciate by 5, maybe more, maybe if you downsell, maybe 10% over a year, and you didn't really care about the rent a lot, did we? As long as it's covering the mortgage. And let's face it, them days of capital appreciation are well out the window. They've gone. They left you in 2024 and they're gone. In 2026, house price growth has flattened to around 2%. 2% is it's hit and miss. You're seriously winning it on a prayer if you think you're going to go anywhere with 2%. Mortgage rates have settled to near 4%, and the Renters' Rights Act has turned landlording into high compliance professional sport. Has it? Yes, it has. So the only thing that matters today is profit in 2026. If a deal doesn't pull in significant cash into your pocket, it's not an investment, it's a liability. So listen to that, it's a liability. All these people, all these deals I keep seeing shunted out wherever they're being pushed out, in WhatsApp groups, in private networks, at networking events on Facebook. I keep getting deals rammed down my throat and they are absolutely terrible. And you better believe it, I turn round and tell the sourcer that is an absolutely terrible deal. Get off that deal. Stop pushing it out. It is horrible. Right? And there is loads of them, absolutely loads of them at the moment. Stay away from them. They're terrible deals. They're going to sting you so hard it's unreal. And if you take them and find yourself in a crisis, don't say you didn't hear it first here. Today I'm going to break down the way I see the top 3 strategies in 2026, ranked from best to worst. Let's start off with best. Obviously, if anybody has any different opinions, get your nose in comments, get it down there. We're here to network, we're here to talk to each other as people involved in property, so get your comments in down there. Hit that like button, hit the follow button for more videos like this. There's a whole host of them on my profile, go look at them. And obviously, if you've got a different opinion, get it in comments and we'll have a discussion about it. I'd be more than happy to. Let's have a discussion. You might enlighten me, I might enlighten you. We can only hope we all learn something. Right, so I've got at rank 1, what I'm calling the cash flowing champion. And as always, I'm looking at high spec HMOs, but not only high spec HMOs, I'm looking at blocks as well. 4, 5, 6 flats, stuff like that. They're real cash churners in 2026. So why it's winning in 2026, the single flat market is becoming unaffordable for young professionals. This has created a massive surge in demand for high-end shared living. The numbers, while a standard buy-to-let might give you 4% yield, a well-run HMO could give you anywhere plus of 12% gross yield. Don't just buy a 4-bed house, right? Buy a property you can value engineer. I value engineer, I mean something that you can turn into a luxury co-living space. Don't just think along sticking 6 bloody bedrooms in a kitchen and think you've achieved the dream. These need to be done very well. Professional tenants in 2026 want en-suites, pretty standard nowadays, high speed Wi-Fi and home office pods. Now you might laugh at that, but actually I've seen an HMO recently with home office pods and it was going for around £800 per room. They had a nice little, instead of a living room, they had it laid out like a cinema room, and they had office pods. Just 2 office pods. Crazy. Think outside the box. Do a lot of research. Start thinking what people need. Right, the pitfalls to HMOs, we all know. Article 4 is a massive pitfall, a massive trap you can fall into. I still see people falling into that now. All's the number 1 suspect for it. The amount of stuff I see on Facebook being posted out as HMOs for sale and they've got no compliance whatsoever is absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal in an Article 4 area. Many UK councils have now banned new HMOs. If you buy without checking the planning history, you could be hit with a massive fine and forced to convert it back to a single home at worst case scenario. Always buy with a certified and always buy with a certificate of lawfulness or in a non-Article 4 area. It's not impossible to get planning in Article 4 areas, but it's very difficult, and you could find yourself in court numerous times, to get planning for an Article 4, and it can hit the pocket. It can cost you a lot of money. So I've got something buzzing around my head here. I don't like doing my head in. Right, so what I've got at number 2 ranked is what I call a stability play, purpose-built student accommodation. Now this is kind of an old hat, a lot of people love it. Student accommodation is always going to be popular if it's in the right area. So UK student numbers reached record highs last year, and we are in a chronic bed shortage in universities in the UK. The benefit: this is the ultimate hands-off play. In 2026, the new Renters' Right Act has made managing tenants much more legally complex. PDSA is usually fully managed by an operator, so renting to students is usually managed by an operator, so you're pretty hands-off. So you buy the building, do it up and go, there you go. You get your rent and they handle the late night calls and the maintenance and all the legalities around it. The strategy: look for student pods in cities with at least 2 major universities. You don't have to be 2 if it's the biggest university, and as long as you're local to that university and in the area students prefer. I have seen a few places that have universities quite close, but students actually don't want to live real close to the university. They prefer to live a little bit away because real close is not a very nice area. So just be careful where you pick. Do your research. Places like Leeds and Birmingham, the pitfall, I suppose it's resale and the liquidity in it with student accommodation. Student accommodations is notorious for being hard to sell later because you can only sell them to other investors, not to just like run-of-the-mill people on market. You also can't get a standard mortgage on them, and they're usually cash only. Well, they're not usually only cash only purchases, are they? Could get a bridge on it and then go on to a buy to let, I suppose. It's great for income, but bad for an exit strategy. So if you're going to do a student accommodation, really please do your own work really well, because if you end up with student accommodation somewhere where students don't want it, then you're going to be stuck with that property and you've got a lot of money in it. So really do your research very well. Make sure you do that. I'm not here to advise you on where to buy student accommodation. You'll need to do that. Rank 3, the capital flip. So the flip's there at number 3. The flip's always going to be there, in it, because if you get this right, a flip is always going to generate you money. Right, now we have a little adaptation to this. We have the green renovating strategy. The government has set strict 2030 deadline, but if you go back up a few previous videos of mine, to say why you're accidentally dragged in to Parts L and Parts H, I think it was, of the building regulations through some new legislation that's come out, then you'll actually realise that you have to hit that EPC a lot sooner than 2030, because they're actually dragging you in now just plainly by doing a renovation effectively. So if you want to go back and look at that video, it's a few videos back, just have a little scroll. Deadline for all rental properties is 2030, as we've said, to reach an EPC rating of C. Many tired landlords are panicking and selling their E to F rated properties at a huge discount. The play: you buy these leaky old houses below market value, you use your build team or whatever, tender it out. People say they have build teams, they use the same builder all the time. How do you know you aren't getting mugged off? Tender it out. Tender it out. The builder could come round and have Sunday bloody dinner with you. Tender it out. It could be 10 grand dearer than that next builder. Tender it out. Yeah, so use the build team. Remember, picking the right team is vital. Now, what we're saying here is, to future-proof, if you're going to do a renovation, and I agree with this, from 2026, you should severely be looking at all electric, or you should be looking at heat source. Right, and everybody whines about it, but you need to be doing it. I'm sorry, but you just do. Possibly solar, and internal insulation as well. The benefit: you'll force equity into the property. You're taking house worth 150k, you spend 30. I don't quite agree with that. I think it'd be more like 40, 45 if you were heat source pumping and what have you. On a green refit, and it's suddenly worth 210k because it's future proof. Because you're not going to get any of this wherever it comes, whether it comes in 2030, whether it comes in 2035, whether it comes in 2040. You're not going to get any of that because you're future proofed. And future proofing's the way ahead, isn't it? This little house I'm sat in now, this little house has had so much bloody insulation everywhere, you won't think. Everything's energy efficient, top rated, all electric. Do you know what I mean? You've got to start thinking along those lines. If your project runs over by 2 months, your finance costs will eat your profit alive. This strategy is only for those with a rock solid project management. Or, you might have done 30 of them yourself and you might fancy yourself as a project manager. But, me personally, going this route, I've been in building 20 odd years now. I'm fully qualified site manager and project manager. And let me tell you, I've come across some half-wits in my time who are project managing jobs who just think they can just say they're a project manager and that's that. A project management is a course equivalent to a degree, right? And there's a lot of learning in that. Not anybody can just pick up the mantle and run with it. It is not as easy as it sounds. And people think, it's just an house. Until it goes wrong. For me, project management is the number one key, and it's not just because I'm a project manager, it's because I've seen stuff fall apart so many times through wrong project management. So the conclusion for me, we're getting off key here, so the conclusion for me for 2026, my 2026 action plan would be forget anywhere south of Birmingham. I'll just forget about it. Just wipe it off a map, it just doesn't exist. Northern Powerhouse is the key word. That's the tag word, that's what everybody's using. Northern Powerhouse. Hubs, certain hubs in the north cities, and they seem to have shifted from Manchester and other big cities like Leeds. because they seem to be getting a little bit more expensive. So they seem to have shifted to places like Liverpool and Sheffield, and as we said before, places like Hull and Wakefield, because they are real key places to pick up cheap property. So they're in high demand. The prices alone are in very high demand at the moment. If you're missing this boat on the north, you need to get on it now, because there's something seriously wrong if you haven't heard about this already. But for what price you buy one house in London, you could be buying 3 up here. You're seriously missing out. Treat it as a business, right? So there's a lot of talk about Renters' Right Act professionalising the landlord circuit. What they mean by that is getting rid of all the part-time hobbyist landlords who may have inherited an house. They may have bought one house, got a bit of money, bought one house and just sit on it. They seem to be getting pushed out of the market. More so people with houses in their personal names as well. So professionalisation seems to be the thing. The era of the hobby landlord is officially over. If you are using, I think everybody knows, if you are using a limited company by now, then there's something wrong. Yeah, and again, in this what I wrote out earlier, I've got professional project management. If you are using professional project management by now, then you're losing money through legals. We'll do a video on professional project management, because I'm quite passionate about that, and I think a lot of landlords just don't get it. Follow the profit. Sounds obvious, doesn't it? Don't buy an house because you like the look of it, or because your mate bought one that's 10 years ago there and that worked for him when it's not 10 years ago. Buy it because the spreadsheet says it's green and it's good to go. Buy it because the figures work. Not because some sourcer told you the figures work either. Do the figures yourself, people. The 2026 market belongs to the educated investor. Stop looking for growth that might never come and start looking for the profit that lands in the bank account every single month. Sounds easy, right? So really, that kind of sums up my 2026 for me. My plan of the 3 best strategies to go for. As I said, if anybody disagrees, get it down there and let's have a little chat about it. Don't forget to like the video, follow, and even share the video, please, because that's what keeps me doing these videos. Without that, I'll just go to YouTube and do them on there. Now what? Right, thank you very much, guys. Look out for that next one. I'm out.